Another self-help book, another seminar, another guru promising the key to unlocking your potential. And the crushing weight of inadequacy just keeps growing, doesn't it? You're chasing this elusive, better version of yourself, meticulously crafting the perfect persona, but inside it feels hollow. Like you're staring at a cracked mirror, seeing a distorted reflection of a man you barely recognize. This isn't self-improvement, it's personal grooming for the approval of others. Jung called it the persona, the mask we wear to hide what we truly fear to confront. But what if I told you the true path to power begins with shattering that mirror? What if I showed you how to reclaim your authentic self, even if it means facing the darkness that lies beneath? So you've chased the self-help rabbit down another hole, haven't you? Another program, another guru whispering promises of untapped potential, and the emptiness just lingers. It's a suffocating weight, isn't it? This constant feeling of coming up short, of not measuring up to some nebulous ideal. You're meticulously crafting this perfect persona, the successful man, the loving partner, the confident leader, but underneath it feels hollow, like a meticulously painted facade on a crumbling foundation. You're not building a life, you're building a stage set for an audience of one, or maybe none at all. It's exhausting, right? The relentless pursuit of approval, the constant need to prove yourself, to justify your existence to a world that seems indifferent at best, and actively hostile at worst. This isn't self-improvement, it's a relentless, soul-crushing performance. You're a marionette dancing to the tune of should. You should be making more money. You should be in better shape. You should be more assertive. You should, until the word itself becomes a barbed wire fence, trapping you in a cage of your own making. This relentless pressure, this crushing weight of should, it's not freedom, it's a prison. And the bars, they're forged from your own anxieties, your own insecurities, your own deeply rooted fear of not being enough. And honestly, that fear feels pretty justified sometimes, doesn't it? This isn't about becoming a better man, it's about becoming a better actor. A convincing imitation of the man you think you should be. But what happens when the curtain falls? What remains when the performance is over? That, my friend, is the question that haunts us all. The answer, I believe, begins with dismantling this carefully constructed persona, this mask. It starts with confronting the darkness beneath the surface. It begins with shattering the mirror. That relentless performance, it's exhausting, isn't it? The constant striving, the endless self-improvement, all for what? To earn a fleeting moment of approval, a smile, a nod, a like on a post, and the emptiness. It grows with each success, doesn't it? Because it's not about the success itself, it's about what that success represents, a validation that you in your core desperately lack. It's like chasing a shadow, the harder you pursue it, the further it retreats. That's the persona, my friend. Jung's concept of the persona isn't some new age mumbo-jumbo, it's a brutal reflection of our deepest anxieties. It's the mask we craft, meticulously polishing it until it gleams, but it's a mask nonetheless, hiding a face we're afraid to show. Think of it like a cracked mirror reflecting a distorted image. That image isn't you, it's a carefully constructed illusion designed to elicit a specific response. A reaction, approval. It's a desperate attempt to control how others perceive you, to fill the void within. Take Mark, for example. A 62-year-old financial advisor in Chicago, all tailored suits, polished shoes, and the carefully cultivated air of success. He's the epitome of the successful man, powerful, decisive, always in control. But beneath that meticulously crafted persona, Mark is terrified of failure. The shadow, lurking just beneath the surface, whispers insidious doubts he constantly fights to suppress. He's so busy maintaining the image of the invulnerable alpha, the man who has it all figured out, that he can barely breathe. It's a cage of his own making, a prison built of societal expectations and personal fears. He's constantly performing, and the deeper the performance, the greater the void grows. He's so busy trying to prove his worth, he's forgotten what that worth actually is. It's a common trap. We build these personas based on what we think will get us love, respect, acceptance. We become actors in our own lives, projecting an idealized version of ourselves. And honestly, sometimes we even believe our own act, making it harder to break free. The irony. The very mask intended to protect us from rejection ends up isolating us even more. It creates a profound disconnect between our inner world and the persona we present to the world, leading to that soul-crushing exhaustion. The weight of should becomes the weight of 1,000 masks. But what if I told you there's another way? What if escaping that gilded cage doesn't involve perfecting the persona, but dismantling it entirely? What if real power isn't found in the mirror's reflection, but in the courage to stare into the darkness lurking beneath? The path to authentic selfhood isn't about climbing a ladder, but about facing a chasm. That gilded cage, it's a prison built of other people's expectations, isn't it? You're not living your life, you're curating a performance for an audience that may not even exist. And the more you strive for perfection, the more flawlessly you execute this role, the more hollow it feels. The emptiness grows, a chasm between who you are and who you pretend to be. This isn't ambition, it's a desperate, almost unconscious act of self-preservation, a desperate need for approval, for acceptance, a desperate attempt to fill the void. It's a symptom of something deeper. Carl Jung called it the persona, the mask we wear to the world. It's not inherently bad, it's a necessary adaptation, a survival mechanism. But when the persona becomes the entire performance, when it eclipses the authentic self, it becomes a cage. And that's where the real suffering begins. Think of it like this: you're a painter meticulously crafting a masterpiece to win a prize, only to realize you've completely forgotten what you truly wanted to paint. The canvas is perfect, the strokes flawless, but the heart is absent. And the silence, the dreadful emptiness, screams louder than any applause could ever cover. Take Arthur, a 68-year-old retired lawyer from Charleston. Spent his life chasing the image of the successful, powerful man, tailored suits, expensive cars, a trophy wife. He achieved it all, the outward trappings of success, but inside he felt like a fraud. An emptiness gnawed at him, a void that no amount of achievement could fill. He spent decades projecting this image of strength and control, suppressing his vulnerabilities, his fears, his quiet desperation. He was a master of the persona, but in the process he had lost himself. The shadow self, the hidden parts he refused to acknowledge, swelled into a monstrous thing, silently eating away at his happiness, pushing him toward bitterness and resentment. That's the anatomy of approval-seeking, a relentless, exhausting pursuit of validation from others. It's a desperate attempt to compensate for a deep-seated lack of self-worth, a fear of rejection so profound that it consumes you. It isn't about confidence. It's about craving external validation to mask internal uncertainty, a weakness we try to cover up with a carefully crafted performance. And the deeper the insecurity, the more elaborate the performance becomes. The mask becomes thicker, the performance more intense, the emptiness even more profound. It becomes a vicious cycle. The more you strive for approval, the further you stray from your true self, and the further you stray, the more you crave approval. It's a trap. The question isn't about building a better persona, but about dismantling it entirely. What if the path to true power lies in confronting that empty space, in embracing the darkness that lies beneath? So you've stared into the abyss, that empty space where the carefully constructed you crumbles, and what did you see? Nothing, or perhaps something far worse, a reflection twisted by the distorting lens of societal expectations. You thought self-improvement was the answer, but it only amplified the dissonance. It wasn't a solution, it was a frantic attempt to paper over a gaping chasm. This isn't some abstract philosophical exercise, is it? This is about the quiet desperation of a man in his late 60s, living in Charleston, his once impressive career now a fading memory, the woman he'd envisioned spending his twilight years with gone, replaced by a gnawing loneliness that no amount of golf or early bird specials can soothe. Jung called this the shadow self, the parts of ourselves we repress, the aspects we deem unworthy, unacceptable, the things we hide not just from others but most importantly from ourselves. And isn't that the most painful kind of hiding? The persona, that meticulously crafted mask, is designed to protect us from the perceived judgment of the world, but it also imprisons us, a gilded cage built on a foundation of lies. It's a denial of who we truly are, a continuous act of self-betrayal. Think of it as a battlefield, the battlefield of your own soul. Your persona, that perfect soldier, fights a relentless war against your shadow self, but the war is unwinnable, because the enemy isn't some external force, it's an integral part of who you are. It's not something to conquer but to integrate, to understand, to embrace. This isn't about eradicating the bad parts of you, this is about understanding their existence. About understanding the reasons behind your need for approval, why you cling so desperately to the validation of others. That need, that yearning, it stems from a deep-seated fear, a primal terror of not being enough, of being fundamentally flawed. A terror that festers unseen in the dark corners of your heart. This is a fear that only you can face. Consider Arthur, a 72-year-old architect in Phoenix, Arizona. He built a life of seemingly effortless success, a beautiful home, a loving family, a highly regarded career, but beneath the surface, a deep, gnawing sense of emptiness. He meticulously crafted the image of the successful, confident patriarch, but the weight of that persona was crushing him. He sacrificed his own passions, his own dreams, on the altar of societal expectations. He lost himself in the performance. He felt as hollow as the perfect architectural model of his career's masterpiece. The path to authentic selfhood isn't about building a better persona, it's about dismantling the one you've already built. It's about facing the darkness that lies beneath, the raw, unfiltered truth of who you are, flaws and all. It's terrifying, yes, but it's also liberating. It's the only path to true power. That cracked mirror, it's a reflection of a life lived not for yourself, but for a phantom audience. You've been performing, meticulously crafting a role, the successful man, the loving partner, the unflappable leader, while the real you, well, he's been locked away in a dusty attic gathering dust. And I know that dust feels heavy, friend. I've been there. What if the emptiness you feel isn't a lack of something, but a consequence of burying something so vital that your entire being is now a monument to its absence? The better version you've been chasing, it's a chimera, a ghost conjured by fear, by societal conditioning, by the insidious whisper of should. It's a projection born of insecurity, a desperate attempt to fill a void that only authenticity can heal. You're not broken, you were never taught the truth. And the truth is, you don't need fixing, you need to awaken. Let that sink in for a moment. Let the weight of the performance, the years of pretending, the exhaustion of the chase settle. Feel it. You've been playing a role that has been forced upon you based on the expectations of others. Maybe you were never meant to be that role at all. Maybe that's why there's a hollow ache, a sense of dissonance, a feeling of living a life that is not your own, not authentically yours. It's why every success feels empty, every achievement rings hollow, every relationship leaves you wanting more. You're living a story that isn't yours, trying to fit into a suit that was never made for you, and every crease and wrinkle of it are creating a pain so profound you've numbed yourself to it. This isn't a failure, this is a choice. A choice between continuing to wear the mask, that comfortable, familiar prison of self-deception, and embracing the terrifying freedom of being truly, unapologetically you. The choice to keep chasing shadows or to step into your own blinding light. This isn't about self-improvement, it's about self-discovery. It's about tearing down the meticulously crafted facade and staring into the abyss within, and realizing it isn't an abyss at all. It's the birthplace of your power. The path ahead isn't easy. It demands courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to confront the darkest aspects of yourself. But on the other side of that confrontation waits not emptiness, but the terrifying, exhilarating, liberating power that comes from a life lived on your own terms. A life where your power isn't borrowed or derived, but intrinsically yours. A life that is authentically, undeniably you. The pain you felt was the weight of a lie. Now that pain, that's the fuel.